Welcome to Commercial Vehicle Magazine. I'm Devin here, sir. We are going to ask you some questions regarding the AI and CV industry. So we'll look forward for it. How will AI affect the CV industry?
So I think AI will have several impacts on the automotive industry. Let's break them down. The first one is really around the autonomous functions within the vehicle. So these will be things like level 2, level 3, level 4, and in the future level 5 commercial vehicles. So level 5 is when it can operate in any condition, at any speed, and in fully autonomous mode. We don't see those kind of commercial vehicles coming into market anytime before 2030. I think where we are today is globally we see level 2 being implemented. I believe level 2 has a huge impact in India. So level 2 is when we have certain safety features like lane keeping, lane management solutions, emergency brake assist. Personally in India, if you look at the biggest challenge we have on our roads today is the road safety. We have so many dramatic accidents in India. It has one of the worst safety records in India, especially these commercial vehicle drivers. So could we have these features that can save lives of these drivers but also other people? I think absolutely. Great case to have these advanced level 2, level 3 features. Then when it comes to having level 3, level 4, we see a number of things that are being discussed. So platooning is being discussed. We see connected supply chain in a restricted environment, absolutely possible. We are seeing globally where the supply chain network or the warehousing is being developed in a certain way that certain elements of the journey can become level 3 or level 4. I think we'll see some of those examples. Will we see it in the streets in Mumbai? Answer is no. Will we see them in certain restricted environments? For example, in ports, answer is absolutely. Ports can be absolutely compromised, for example. So that's the first one. The second I see is, we're going to see new different business models. Daimler showcases it in its light commercial vehicle, which is integrated with drone delivery. So what we see there is the role of the driver is changing. The role of the driver is no more driving the vehicle, but the role of the driver has become of a fleet manager. So the driver is taking the vehicle from A to B and preloading through an automated process the parcel into a drone, and then the drone is making the last mile connectivity. So I think we'll see also some of those models. Now the question is, will they work in India? The answer is yes. Maybe not in Mumbai, but maybe let's say in a hilly terrain, for example, in Himachal Pradesh or Leh Ladakh or Sikkim, absolutely. Instead of sending things by road, you could send the last few miles by air. So I think those are some of the interesting aspects of AI that we see.
What is the current scenario in terms of AI's progress in CVs outside India?
So at the moment it's a lot in pilot stages and development stage. We are seeing the first generation of pilots being done. Interestingly, a lot of the pilots we see are perhaps not first in the commercial vehicle industry. So in the mining industry, for example, in off-highway, we already have tractors which can be completely without a driver. Those have been implemented for many years. So I think from there we will see some implications in a closed environment, like I mentioned, in ports, for example. So that's where we see the first trend and the first applications coming in. Maybe in garbage vans, for example, which is working in a very restricted environment. So those are the first few applications we will see.
So would you like to talk about the presence in India?
Absolutely. So thanks for those points, Sarwant. So if you look at the Indian perspective, it's all about fleet management or asset management. So that can further be broken into two areas. One is vehicle usage management and driver behavior monitoring. Right? So let's look at vehicle usage. So for all the, let's say, medium, large, even small fleet operators, the biggest challenge today is to reduce downtime on the one hand and improve productivity. So what they are doing is, so OEMs, the likes of Mahindra, Tata Motors, and DICE as well, they are leveraging AI or artificial intelligence to monitor vehicles, right? So the best examples today are, the solutions offered by companies like KPIT. So the KPIT now has a solution where they have partnered with the state-run transport corporations or the bus operators, where they can actually monitor every vehicle in terms of how fast it's driving, whether it is broken down, whether it is making a scheduled stop or a non-scheduled stop. So everything related to vehicle performance parameters can be monitored today. So that's on the vehicle usage characteristics. The second part is driver behavior monitoring, right? So today for fleet operators, especially the large fleet operators, driver productivity is one of the biggest challenges. So they are using AI to monitor, either through in-vehicle cameras or technologies that can be integrated into the truck cabin or the bus cabin in order to understand, what the driving characteristics of the driver are, their operating conditions, and they are collecting all this data in order to improve productivity and efficiency. So for the Indian context, I think for the next 3 to 4 years, it will be all about leveraging AI to improve efficiency and productivity.
Yes. So, sir, I would like to ask for both of you, how will AI make sense in India given the infrastructure and level of acceptance? Both of you can answer.
I think in terms of infrastructure, I think there are a couple of areas which need a lot of improvement and investment. Again, I'll go back to a specific example. Bosch today in India, partners with Bangalore traffic police in order to understand and traffic conditions within Bangalore city, and then they are trying to develop intelligent transportation software to help streamline traffic, right? So I think the same can be applied to commercial vehicles as well, because today a lot of commercial vehicles, especially the intra-city travel or even intercity travel, involves long operating hours. So I think this is where partnering with the technology companies locally in India, including the established ones with the likes of Bosch, Siemens, and Technical, but also a lot of these startups today who have telematic solutions, that they are looking to offer either to the OEMs or to large fleet operators. I think partnering with these startup companies in the telematic space to offer simple solutions which could be geofencing, geo-tracking, to advanced features such as driver behavior monitoring or fuel level monitoring. I think these are some value-added services that partnering with the startup ecosystem can bring into the commercial vehicle space.
Yeah. So would you like to add something on looking at the global and India comparatively?
So I think when it comes to infrastructure for AI, especially for autonomous trucks, 4G and 5G is very important. You cannot have a level 4 truck without having a 4G network. So India has good 4G network, but the coverage is extremely poor. So unless we have full coverage in 4G, I don't think you can see level 4. Also, you need legislation in place so drivers can refund insurance. So I think a lot of those things are not in place. So again, in time, like with the technology, I think it will take 3-4 years, maybe longer for that infrastructure is in place.
So how will it affect the total cost of operation for CV operators?
So I think we should differentiate between connected truck and an autonomous truck. An autonomous truck is still 5-7 years away unless it's in a state environment. But a connected truck is here and now. So as Kaushik mentioned, there are a number of connected truck features you can see. If you look at, and recently if you look at globally, there have been some major acquisitions and major growth areas. For example, Bridgestone recently bought TomTom Telematics, which provides a commercial vehicle fleet solution for a telematics connected truck. Likewise, we have seen a lot of interest. For example, recently Vio was launched by the Volkswagen and MAN Group, which is an IoT platform in a truck which combines the whole ecosystem. It's an amazing platform. It's an IoT platform that can be used by a fleet operator irrespective of the brand. It has a free plus premium business model, and it connects not only the supply chain but also things like expenses management, accounting, and so the other things. Now, there's an absolute business case to put those things in Indian trucks.
Yeah. So this is a joint question. What level of AI could we expect in India in the near future? Both of you can answer.
So AI in India in the short term in commercial vehicles will be very limited. I think you'll see very simple use cases of AI in India. I think most of them will be outside the truck than inside. So things like supply chain optimization, routing optimization. I think those are the first applications the AI will see. So more outside the truck than inside the truck is my view.
I do agree with what Sarwant said, especially when it is the Indian context. It's all about value-added services. Just to give you an example, today the likes of Michelin, Apollo Tires, Bridgestone in India have introduced tire management as a service, right? TMAAS. So what they're doing essentially is they own the tires. All these tires come equipped with a chip. They own the tires, unlike before where tires used to be sold to fleet operators. So with this chip, they are able to actually monitor a lot of vital parameters of the commercial vehicle, like load, right? Route optimization, like someone mentioned. So today, I think for the short to medium term in India, it will be the ecosystem that will look at optimization and valuation with these small yet simple technology offerings, the PPMS and TMAS, that will translate to a lot of revenue savings for the fleet operators. And in the long term, when the new generation BS6 vehicles are going to come in, these will become mandatory. I mean, that means a lot of these vehicles will come equipped with these technologies from the factory, and that is going to help a lot of these aggregators and fleet operators improve.
Yeah, so continue for in the same question. In the far course, how AI will be there in India?
I think for the Indian scenario, a long-term perspective on AI is still very, very early. Like Sarwant mentioned, we don't see any significant automation coming into the Indian context of commercial vehicles, but we do see small commercial vehicles and last mile delivery, last mile connectivity, especially in the urban operations and intra-city operations, seeing a lot more automation. Refuse trucks, which could be medium to large HTT trucks as well, but also for the small commercial vehicles which are, let's say, under the 3.5 tons or the 6 ton bracket, which will see a lot more automation where drivers will play multiple roles, like Sarwant mentioned, and that is where we see a lot of investments happening, in terms of artificial intelligence, incorporation.
What do you think?
I think nothing to add.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah, I think covered it.
So the next question will be: will it be trucks first or the buses first or the cargo vans? If AI comes, who will be the first?
Truck buses or
Cargo vans.
I think for India, I think it is more about applications. Instead of saying whether it is truck, bus, or cargo vans, I would rather say, what kind of applications are we looking at? If it is, let's say, last mile connectivity that involves groceries, right? That probably will require refrigerated trucks, for example, right? That's irrespective of whether it's going to be a truck platform or a bus platform or a cargo platform. So I think applications, that flexibility in applications is what is going to drive automation and artificial intelligence, rather than whether it is a truck platform or a bus platform. I think that's the way we look at it.
I would like to ask you the economic implication of AI as a tech for the CV ecosystem. The economic implications.
So I think again, firstly, when we talk about autonomy, we have to really talk by levels. So we are really a level 2 today. And level 2 does not have any impact in terms of job losses. Level 4, level 5. Level 2 to level 4 is actually complementary to a driver. So it will help the driver navigate better, it will help the driver optimize its route flow better. So I think all of these are efficiency improvements. And we have to see autonomy in this time period, which will be up to 2030 and even more beyond, where AI is only helping and is providing more efficiency improvements. So to me, it's all good news. So in terms of job losses, I wouldn't be worried about it, at least not for the next 10 years.
Its advantage and limitation from an industry perspective. The AI.
Can I leave it with? I have to shoot.
Yeah.
Do you mind watching?
Yeah, I'll continue.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much, Amit.
Yeah.
So I think both in terms of opportunities, advantages, and limitations, I think what we should look at is how non-automotive stakeholders or non-mobility stakeholders will play a role here. To take an example, once we have a lot of these data points being generated out of a commercial vehicle, we will have use cases for insurance companies to come in. or maybe even healthcare service providers to come into this ecosystem and say, hey, now we have data which looks at driver behavior monitoring, right, or vehicle parameters monitoring. So with that, we can combine new services or new business offerings like bringing in insurance, bringing in healthcare, bringing in any other, let's say, with electrification, we are bringing in energy and utilities as well. So I think going forward, as we see the trend towards electrification, we will see opportunities for non-automotive stakeholders to come into the mobility ecosystem, and they can start, generating new business models and new revenues as well.
The level of localization amid the current regulatory framework.
I think there is a lot of work to be done in this space because when it comes to artificial intelligence, it's not primarily driven by mobility alone, right? Mobility is just one part of the entire artificial intelligence space. So I think we will see advancements and improvements from multiple angles, both from the sensors, data analytics, right? 5G, like Sarwant mentioned. So I think a lot of external parameters are going to come into play here. But from the mobility perspective, I think the improvements, or let's say the evolution, will revolve around how the OEMs are able to bring these technologies onto a common platform and combine it with not only OE level offerings but also service offerings that can be extended to total cost of ownership, maintenance, service, spare parts, especially aimed at the large and medium fleet operators. I think that's where this industry is going to go.
Do you think government is looking at AI? Government is looking forward to implement new policies regarding the AI?
I'm not very sure if government is specifically looking at AI as such, because AI is just it's just one form of the application that is a result of the improvement in sensors, in technologies, and so on. So AI is going to be the outcome of any regulations that are going to happen in electronics, for example, right? Because the Department of IT and Electronics is very, very keen on localizing a lot of electronics manufacturing. So AI will become a result of that, right? So that's how we look at it. AI regulation per se directly may not happen, but it will be an implication.
Into the CV industry, like Nitin Gadkari recently said he will be having electrical.
Correct. So I think electrification, electric trucks, I know we've seen a lot of investments in this direction by the likes of Tata Motors, Mahindra, Ashok Leyland, and so on. So I think that investment is going to continue. So with that, what we are looking at is opportunities for energy players to come in, battery manufacturers to come in, charging infrastructure players to come in. So all this will generate tons and tons of data, and that is where data analytics and artificial intelligence is going to come into play. How can you use this data, make sense out of it, and create new value-added business models for the OEMs and fleet operators?
So in the future it will be applicable in
yes, I would say so.
So the question is, what about the responsibility of the technology, the AI technology?
Responsibility of AI technology is going to revolve around some very, very basic parameters that we already spoke about. One is improving productivity, efficiency, reducing accidents, reducing fatalities, because today trucks or commercial vehicles in India contribute, unfortunately, to a large number of road accidents. Hopefully with AI that will come down, right? So we will be able to reduce accidents and fatalities.
Who would be responsible at what stage in case of any mishap?
It's too early to say. Because at this point in time, the responsibility lies with the collective ecosystem, right? Means the component manufacturers, the aggregators, the tier 1 suppliers, the OEMs as well. So maybe in the future we will have 5G operators also becoming equally responsible, because artificial intelligence is all about data, right? And connectivity. So I think everybody has a role to play, but at the end of the day, somebody like the OEM should take the lead. I'm not saying full responsibility, but should take the lead in ensuring safety both from the fleet operator and the driver's perspective.
So, how disruptive would this tech will be for CV industry?
I think we've already covered that.
You
Yeah.
already covered. So, thank you so much, sir, for talking with commercial
Thank you very much.
vehicle
It's
magazine.
a great opportunity to be a part of
Yeah,
commercial
yeah.
vehicles.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.